What does he have?
I took it. It was an napkin.
Oh, good boy.
Wadded up in there.
Our dog's being insane right now. So. He stole a napkin and pretended it was something worse. What are we doing here?
Y'all are live.
Oh, we're live. Hello. Welcome to our weekly hangout with Brick Adjuster and Iceberg Bricks. I'm just waiting to get my chat up here. One sec.
My headphones weren't charged.
Oh, okay, but you're good now. You can hear me.
Yeah, I just plugged it in.
Nice. All right. So close to getting this. All right, I'm good now. Now I can see everything.
Oh, we're live.
Yes, we are live.
And we're live.
Oh, right. You couldn't hear me while I told you we were live. Sorry.
Oh. Is that Brenda laughing?
So let's go around. Let's hear about your Lego weeks. Iceberg, what'd you do this week?
Not too well. You know, I'm doing a community build. We're doing the police station, so we do like once a week, and I think we are actually on the finale, which is coming this week. And
is that with Brick Huntress?
Yeah, with Brick Huntress and Jesse Brooks Galaxy, and
all right,
nice, yeah,
a bunch of other friends and stuff. So it was almost like a little book club, but it's Brick Club, you know. So
that's awesome. Nice. Brick Adjuster?
I built the Porsche watching your stream on Saturday.
Oh, nice. That's right.
I was doing that. I was doing that stop motion style.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And yeah, it's a nice. I opted for the turbo option.
Yep.
And then in terms of buying Lego, I did jump on the Amelia Earhart train and
of course the train
spent the 130 Canadian that we had to spend here, not the 100 in the States.
Yeah, that's the first time they've ever bumped it on us.
Yeah, I thought it was 100 for sure, but it's 130.
So like normally we just get this. Normally like our prices are inflated, but the amount we have to spend is the same. So like we buy less Lego to get the same promo, but this time they bumped the promo price too. So they're probably going to start doing it. But...
went up, huh?
Yeah, so I got a couple troll sets that I thought that it might be retiring, and I wanted the minifigures, and so I bought a few troll sets just to make that 130. Mm-hmm. I got a Spider-Man set for the minifigures, and then today I went to the Lego store for the first time, and because of Kevin's stream, he twisted my arm and ended up getting the Monkey King.
Ah, nice. So,
yeah.
I want to put this by the Ninjago City.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean that's a really, really fun build. Yeah, it's big too. It's really big.
I wasn't sure if the Lego store was going to be busy or not, but it was good. There were a bunch of people in line, but then I went in and just started looking around the store, and by the time it was time to pay, everyone had already bought their stuff and left. So I guess everyone was in there just to get something that they know that they were going to get, and they all lined up and got it. And then by the time I was ready to pay, there was no lineup, so I just bought it.
Nice. We got BFAB here and Justin. Hello, Justin. Hello, BFAB.
Yeah, that was my first Monkey Kid set.
Yeah. I really like the sets. And you were building the Lion Guardian. Have you built any more? Because you Iceberg.
I didn't build the Lion Guardian yet, but I did build the Jungle Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Still had the Lion Guardian.
Is that Ninjago or Monkey Kid?
This is Ninjago.
Okay. Yeah.
Lion Guardian is Monkey Kid.
Okay.
Nice.
But if you squint your eyes just like that, you probably could never tell.
Ooh, fancy.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
We got it switched.
After the day.
I need to be...
sorry, I had it turned off there. We're still getting our bearings after our intense stream over that we just came from. That was a lot of fun though.
I'm the Brick Adjuster, so I can say what I want to say.
Oh no! I gotta move you. How do I move you?
I'm a Lego master.
There we go. Problem solved. There we go.
Sorry about Lego master.
Oh, nice. Now we line up in the middle on the bottom too.
I could have said something.
Oh yeah, it does work now. But my head should be on
whoever
this.
you want, guys. Yeah. That's awesome.
So happy birthday, Kevin.
Thank you. Yes.
Kevin.
It's almost over.
It's almost over.
Okay.
A birthday's never over.
Another one just around the corner, right?
What did you do on your birthday besides stream?
Well, I got a new camera, so that's
All
exciting. It overheated and we had to switch, so we'll figure that out. And I built this little this is just the one half. I can't remember where I put the landscape part, but like the little Friends balloon set.
All right.
But over the weekend, I built the legendary Fruit Flower Mountain, which is in the background there. So I've got that in kind of this like camping area that's like half sets and half mock stuff.
How do you like that set?
Oh, it's really nice. It's really nice. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, a lot of really cool textures on it with both like little intricate work, but also really big pieces. And yeah, I really like.
Would you say it's the best Monkey Kid set that you've built so far, or is there something better?
It's just so different than all the other ones. The other ones are all very like, I don't know, machine or like big vehicles and stuff. That one's just so different. And so to me, it was just kind of a surprise that it's even in the theme. But I mean, I've watched a few of the episodes and obviously it makes sense, but it's very different. So yeah, but I really like to be able to put it as landscape in the background and just have it hanging out. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, let's jump into our topic. So I wanted to talk about, I didn't know what to call it, but like I called it showing off your Lego. And that can be anything from, like practical things like whatever, but more so like what it's like when you're showing it to other people. Because for me, that's a big thing that I really, really enjoy. And so, yeah, actually my questions are on my other computer. Oh, but I texted them to you guys, so I can pull them up. But the first thing, the first question I like coming, for you guys, especially because you're mock builders, is like, what's the difference between, or what's the experience like, or what's your preference between, or whatever, showing someone a set that you have versus showing them a mock that you've built? So is there a difference? Do you
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this,
question.
and I think there is a difference. The showing off a set to someone who doesn't have that set, you're just kind of waiting for that wow moment. And so it's like, wow, look at that. But it's kind of like if you get like a new car or something, or if you get like new clothes, you want to go out and just kind of show it off. And then once they see it, they're like, oh, okay. Whereas when you make a mock, it's like your kid, like maybe not your kid. It's something like you kind of put together and you want to get that, that approval or that gratification from someone else saying, oh, that's really good. Whereas like if it's a set, anyone can make that set. Not everyone can make the mock that you've built or created. So that's kind of how I see it. How about you, Iceberg?
I think I think you're right. I think you take more pride in something that you built alone, like the imagination that you built alone. Like I've started my Lego room, and on the right side you have your sets, on the left side I have my mocks, and surprisingly they were just more interested in the mocks than they were in the sets. You just take more pride in because it's something you came up with. So I think that's a better bragging rights versus a set.
Like the thing about sets too, I guess you can modify a set to make it your own. You can add things to it. You can even like make it into a scene, add, like have it arranged a certain way. And so that makes it unique to how other people have that set. And so that's another way that you can kind of show it off and be proud of. And then other people are like, whoa, I like how you set that up. And then
for me, I almost always want to have a set incorporated into something. So like, I mean, I have a few like display piece sets. Like my NES is just like, I love building it and stuff, and I guess showing it off to someone is great, but I just keep it on the shelf and I don't really look at it myself at all. Whereas with some of even my small sets, like, I really love looking at them myself, but also then I'm going to set it up in a little scene, have a little story around it or whatever. It's going to be built into a bigger scene. And I like showing it off that way, and kind of letting people, see how I picture it, even if it's just a little set, and always kind of making it my own with either with little minifigures or little additions. I'm not shy to add pieces or to kind of modify something to either to make it look better or to give it or to make it like actually attached to something else. Like that doesn't bother me at all. Once I have it, I'm probably not going to try to sell it, and if I do, the pieces are somewhere, like.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. Like with the classic Batcave, I changed that up because it kind of looked ordinary. And even with like the Lego Friend set, it was all studded, and so I tiled it up and I added a second half to it. And so I don't mind changing a set just to make it look better to me when I look at it.
Right. Another question I just had real quick while you guys were talking about it is with mocks especially. So like I haven't been to a show, for example, ever. So like I don't really know what it's like to show a mock to someone who knows anything about Lego. So I'm curious about what it's like, what the difference is between showing someone a mock, like who's just like at your house or whatever, and you're kind of showing it to them versus someone who might know a lot about Lego, and what that experience is like for you, and like what and how it differs one versus the other. Or not at all. I don't know.
Like at a show, I guess on the public days, it's hard to know exactly if the person looking at your set knows a lot about Lego, unless they start peppering you with questions, like Lego type questions. Sure. Because usually the questions that someone would ask you is, how long did it take you to build this? How many pieces in this set? And usually when those are the questions, you're like, okay, this person might not know. Well, they could know a lot. I don't know. It's hard to say. As for like showing mocks in my, I haven't really shown. Like one of your questions was showing off your Lego to your friends. Like you kind of asked that, you gave us that question. Yeah. And I was thinking, there's only been like maybe outside of my own family, like who live in this house, I was counting on my hand like 5 people that have been to my Lego room that have actually been here. And it's one person is my mom, my brother, my mother-in-law, and then my wife's 2 cousins that came from like Australia. And then that's it.
Why is
that they haven't been. I don't know. We don't really do parties anymore like we used to do, and people don't really come over. And when they do come over, they're upstairs. They don't come into the basement. And so it's not like I'm hiding it, but they haven't really seen it. I'm not gonna pull someone down and say, "Oh, look at my toys." Yeah. But
I definitely do that.
They haven't really seen it. Some of my Pokemon friends, I've shown pictures of different sets, and then they're like, "Oh, that's cool," but they haven't. No one's really seen my Lego room. So just the people on the internet, my internet friends, have seen my Lego room, but not people I know.
Okay.
How you guys?
Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I kind of like the avid Lego builder to come over and view my mock, because like you say, you get the lingo, the conversation is a little bit more intense because they ask more substantive questions.
How many studs wide is your?
Yeah, and they just and then like they'll share their own mock experiences, and their something that and you might be coming to the same conclusion. Like I have an Avengers Tower, Jesse has one, and Troy has one, and so we kind of share on like certain details that might be inside of a tower or something like that. Or how'd you get the helicarrier to stay put without the whole building toppling down?
Yeah.
So I enjoy because mine's toppled many times. So it did. And
the secrets.
Yeah, the secrets. And so I enjoy that conversation above many.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess have you shown your Lego a lot, Kevin?
I mean, early on, I used to have a lot of Harry Potter stuff that I would show off. So they're like, if there were Harry Potter fans that were over my place, then they'd take them through, and they love seeing the castle and all the little details and the scenes and stuff. So I guess I've shown to experts in like
Harry Potter
theme
experts.
of a set, but not
Yeah.
not anyone who knows anything about Lego really. I do have one friend that I do like Zoom calls with, but he lives in Vancouver. And we kind of talk about different things we're doing. He likes just making funny little things. And you know, and so we'll talk about that stuff, but otherwise it's just, you know, anyone who's over. It actually, everything's in a new place as of about, I don't know what, 3-4 weeks ago. But before, it was all basically right in our main living area almost. So like you could see it from the couch in like the office area. And so, you know, if someone was over, they would definitely see it. And that would kind of give them the right to ask about it if they had any interest whatsoever. But it's funny to me because like I can't imagine not being interested in that but like I try not to say anything
if you saw it at someone else's house.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh my gosh, please show me everything. I want to play with these right now. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then like depending on their interest level, I try to gauge how much they want to talk about it, or you know, or want me to take them into the depths of turn them around, or like, you know, anything like that. A lot of times they don't know if they can touch the stuff too, right? That's it. I mean, I don't know. Do you let people touch your Lego when they come? Like,
well,
if it was like, no.
Remember, I was saying I was counting on one hand. So my wife's two cousins that came into the Lego room, they were all like wowed, right? And so we just opened up a bunch of sets and started building, and so they had a blast down here. We even filmed some videos for YouTube. So way back, they're in like a couple of videos of YouTube, and so they were just it was fun, but that was kind of the only experience. And then before they left, they bought do you know the Technic excavator? Is it called the excavator? It's the crane. No, the Technic crane. It was like Christmas time, so one of them bought the crane, and then so we all built that together down here, and it was good times. Nice.
But like they didn't like grab any of the stuff on your shelves or like move things around, or
no, they were just building on the pool table here the sets that we had.
Gotcha. And Iceberg, you looked appalled by the question.
Yeah, I'm not a touchy-feely type of guy, you know. I don't get touchy, you know. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my Lego. Don't touch
even like a normal like Lego set that's just like.
You know, I kind of toss out the instructions, even though you can look them up again. I just kind of, you know, because you know I had my little dude before. He was good. We had an understanding, and I never had to worry about him touching any of the Lego because we had to trade off again minifigures and the whole lot of the Lego. And then he just started like going crazy, like he was taking the $50 minifigures, like,
oh no,
and like he was just going to town on stuff.
The Daredevil lost
trying to get the heads off with it.
So we had to have a come to Jesus meeting, me and him. You know.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, the boys are pretty good. Even so, the youngest one is now 7, but when he was like 1-2 years old, he would walk around here, and he wouldn't touch anything. And it's all his level. Like some of the stuff here is at his level. He could have easily grabbed it, but he didn't. He just kind of walked around. And then the other two, the oldest, before I got into Lego, he was into, I kind of mentioned this in another stream. He was into it with my wife, and she was having a hard time not getting him to Frankenstein all the minifigures and everything. So everything was wasn't together, and he was just changing everything.
Not that you would ever do that.
I do that for six figs, but he was doing I guess it's the same thing, but he had his own base and he had like all these figures. But then when I started getting into it, he stopped doing that. I don't know why. It was more like we were doing stuff together, and maybe he didn't want to do his own thing and change things anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I actually don't really mind if people are touching it. I mean, maybe some things I'd be like, okay, do you need to, or like distract them with another part that they can play with, or whatever. But like for me, if a kid comes over, especially, so like my niece came up to visit, you know, a year and a half ago or something. She was, how old was she? I don't know, 5 or 6 or something like that.
Okay.
And she like saw all the Lego in the room, and like her eyes just went nuts. She like plays with Lego and stuff, and was like so excited. And I got down to her level. I was like, Anna, listen, you can play with this stuff, but please be really, really careful. But if you break something, it's okay. We'll rebuild it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And she would be like, and she would ask me like, okay, does this come apart? Is this meant to open? Is it da da da? And she'd be down on the floor playing with it, and she'd like make sure she knew where it came from and all this stuff, and it was great. And then finally, the last day, she was playing with like the night bus or something, and had it on a table. And it, our house isn't the most even thing in the world. It's 100 years old, and it just slowly goes and then fell and just exploded.
Oh boy!
And I was like, well, we made it several days. I can rebuild that. It's okay. And yeah. So I could tell you're not too keen on that, Iceberg, but I'm fine with it. Especially for a set. If it was a mock, I'd be a lot different about it. I don't have instructions for that. Maybe I have some of it in my head, but if I'm lucky, maybe I did parts of it on the computer. And sometimes I try to update if I did parts of it on the computer, I'll be like, okay, how did I actually do it to keep it together? But yeah, for mocks, I would be a lot different. Have a rainbow or something like that.
Have either of you ever had a big set accidentally slip out of your hands or crash onto the ground, and you had to like, oh no?
Nothing too big.
I had one thing, but I was able to rebuild it. But so my youngest, I was asking to see a Spider-Man minifigure at the very top shelf.
Ooh.
all the way up there. And at the time, see where this where the Harry Potter stuff, that's where the Ninjago City was. So that was placed right there. So I was reaching for it on the top shelf, and I was leaning on the middle shelf here. And I guess I was heavier than I thought and came crashing down.
Oh no.
Smashed all of Ninjago City, smashed half of the Hogwarts Castle, everything on that top shelf smashed. And this was in the summer, just this summer. I have a picture on my Instagram of it, but yeah, it took a while, but everything's back to normal. I had to pull up the instructions on the computer because I threw all my instructions out, but I was able to do it up again. But he was sitting on the pool table just watching as everything happened, and his face was like in horror when everything went crashing down.
Oh, that's brutal.
But it's okay now.
Shai was just in our chat in the other stream, and he was saying he dropped one of his planes into the Disney castle and knocked it over.
The Disney castle is pretty delicate.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't know anyone that has it or anything. And so
every time I try to move it like the top tower always crushes, and I gotta like fix it up.
Yeah.
But
nice. That's so funny. That was a better question than I thought it was going to be. Funny. Very different opinions on these things. I like it. Another question I thought that was really interesting is if someone's looking at your Lego, whether it's a set, whether it's a mock, whether it's a full room, and you're kind of showing it to them, do you prefer to give them the tour and your view and your information in some order, or do you prefer to let them take it in however they want, or you know what I mean? Or is that different in any way, or whatever? What are your thoughts on?
Well, at a convention, usually people just kind of stare at the mock. They'll just like look at it, and if they're there long enough, you're thinking, okay, they are interested. So then you'll kind of start talking about the mock and explaining, oh, this is what that is supposed to be. Well, mine's micro, so it's hard to sometimes tell what's what. And so I'll explain, okay, yeah, this is such and such, and over here this is that. And so they'll be like, oh yeah, I see that now. And so I guess give them a few minutes and to soak it all in, and then throw in your 2 cents afterwards. That's what I usually do.
And if someone came to your Lego room, would you give them a guided tour, or would you let them peruse?
I would probably give them a tour just so they wouldn't miss anything. Because I'd want to show
You won't leave
everything
it
out.
Any interpretation, no imagination, no nothing. You just go.
No, like because it's all sets here, so I'm gonna be like, this is this set and this is this set, right?
Uh-huh.
And so, because usually, like if you go into like a museum or something, you'll be like looking at something and then move on. Especially if there's so many things, right? You'll be like, boom, boom, boom. But then sometimes you want them to like notice something you like you yourself are kind of proud of, and point something out. Because they might like look at the Stranger Things set and they won't even know that's Stranger Things. They'll be like, oh, that's cool. But then if you're like, oh, look at the bottom, if you flip it upside down, it's the underground world, and something like that. Or like you
I mean, it
point
does
out,
have a big sign that says Stranger Things, but
yeah, but like if someone were to come down and just, I wouldn't even have noticed it. I would have just been like, okay, that's cool. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Not
there's a
even
Statue of Liberty over there.
Yeah.
But then if you, that's from the Lego Movie too, and it's Apocalypseburg. So they would know what that, they probably wouldn't know what it is if they didn't watch the movie, but you can kind of explain. What about yourselves?
No one ever gave a tour of Disneyland, like, so I would just let them I would let them do the unguided thing and let them kind of let their imagination run wild, because they're gonna be wild, looking at it anyhow. And I mean, if they got questions, then I'll answer the questions, or like they start pointing things out. But I wouldn't. I just because they're people. It's just like going to an art gallery, like you said. Like what my interpretation is different from your interpretation. So if my imagination is running wild in your Lego room, please don't take me out of my dream.
I don't have a lot of experience. That's why I said I counted on one hand the amount of people in my Lego room. So
that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, yeah, to be fair, not that many have seen mine like recently for obvious reasons, but yeah.
Kevin, if you ever come down to the city, I'll let you I won't give you a tour. I'll let you let your imagination run wild.
I'm happy to come down there once we can get out of this. We're at what? 4 hours not in traffic, 6 hours in traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 hours or so.
I would take the train probably. But yeah, I go to Toronto all the time. Well, not all the time, but summer, watch some games, things like that. For sure. No, and I will. You give me a tour, and then I'll walk around on my own. I'll decide which one's better. But yeah, if someone came over right now and wanted to see this, I'm trying to think. Like,
was that the person on your stream? Not Brenda. Not Brenda, but there was someone else that came, and they were.
Elizabeth. Oh no, but she sees all this stuff. Yeah,
oh, okay,
no, she's across the street, and like it is she works with me, and we hang out all the time. Yeah, we've kept a really tight bubble with those people, so it's been helpful.
So you guys have had countless number of people see your Lego. I get you can't count like me.
Well, I just can't remember that far back when people could come to the house, I guess. And I didn't have that much before, and that wasn't really into it for that long. Like I didn't have almost anything that's back here I wouldn't have had back then.
You mean pre-COVID?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Almost everything in here I bought after that probably, which is actually crazy. I don't want to think about that, but but I would want them to know that it was an amusement park. I guess they could tell that maybe. But I would kind of want them to know that each one's meant to be its own little like section. I don't know. I guess they'll figure that out. I think I would let them explore and I would hope that they would find some oddities quite quickly. Like, why is that a doggy daycare in the front corner? And
I'd be the funny stuff.
Well, that's where people drop off their dog when they go to the park. And then hopefully that would just lead to them finding all these little nuggets that I've left in there. Yeah, so I think if they started finding those things that, like, for me are the important parts and the things that I put way too much time into thinking about, then I would let them explore and kind of find them, and then like fill them in later if they weren't catching on to some of the things that I thought were the best, or like things like, oh, they're looking at the Ferris wheel and they love it, but they don't realize the one at the bottom has friction pins in it. So I swapped those out so that when it goes, it'll stay upside down.
Oh,
stuff like that. I would want to make sure that they didn't miss it because it's kind of like a little hidden detail that only I know is there, or that I'm only going to reveal to someone that I, think is worthy.
Yeah, you'll see that at Lego conventions a lot. You'll see cities and then funny little things happening with the minifigures
Yeah.
in the city, something like weird.
Do you guys keep like hidden details in your sets at all? Like things that either only you know about that are interesting? Like, you know what I mean?
Like my squid monster in my Lego Friends set,
Yeah.
Big Bang Theory set. I took the squid monster from one of the Force Awakens sets, like that red one, and it's coming out of the wall.
But like you can see it from the. I'm thinking like things you wouldn't be able to see.
Oh, inside.
Yeah, but like easily accessible if you wanted, or maybe not. I don't know. Whatever.
Maybe in the Ventures Tower. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, I have I got Bucky in the torture chamber. So
there you go.
Like, is that accessible, or is it like you just know that he's there and
it's you could see it through the transparent glass, but
okay, I got you.
It,
but you have to like light it up to kind of really see it.
Yeah, and I got lights on every floor, so you can see it. But you got to be looking at the back side of the tower to kind of see it. So, but yeah, he's in a torture chamber.
That's something I haven't played around with yet. The lights, I haven't really delved into that yet.
I haven't perfected it yet. It's still tough for me to hide the wires.
What company do you normally get your lights from?
I did Blinky Bricks.
Okay.
But I'm also try another company soon here. So.
How did you hear about Blinky Bricks? Is that a popular one?
Yeah, he's just a local guy. And so,
okay.
That's why I tried him. But
what do we have there?
Yeah, I'm thinking I might get something else.
This is my little.
Yes.
My little. This was the first mock I did, right? A little bar, and
make yourself big.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Oh.
What do I do? Oh, I see. Wait, do I click just one? Wait, I don't know.
There's an icon on the left side of your Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, but then I need to get rid of the thing. There we go. That'll work. My autofocus isn't gonna go great. It's not my camera right now, so I can't tell. But all I want to show is that like at this place behind their sign that has like the menu on it, there's a door to like this creepy basement, and so like you can't see this in the mock unless you take it off. But there's a door back here that looks exactly like the door that they have, and it's funny because people that go there don't even know that door is there because it's covered up all the time. And so I really wanted to make sure the door was there in the mock, even though you might not see it, specifically because people that know the place would ask if the door was there.
Yeah.
Say yes. Yes, it is. So wait, what do I do now? Wait, this one.
Yeah, nope. So I saw Robin Hood Bricks actually modded out his police station, right? And what he did was he ripped out the bathroom on the top level and made it an interrogation room. So he even like put the tenant on the windows and everything. So like you got the one side you can't see who's behind the wall, but the whoever's behind the wall can see what's going on in the next room. I think that's a neat little touch. And he was like, everything looks great until you cover it up and it's never to be seen again.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the details that you know it's in there, but no one else see it. Like when I did my my Patterson Theater, and the guy, I talked, I sat and chat with the guy for a bit, and the way it was that like you wouldn't be able to actually see the performing arts theater part, like the studio part. You wouldn't be able to see it because the way the walls were and there were no windows near the theater.
Yep.
And so it kind of forced me to like redesign some things, and so I took some of the offices and stuff like that was on the back side of the dollhouse doors, and we're able to move those out so you can actually see inside the theater. But yeah, just certain details like that. I like on the side of the theater there's a little mini bar, and the bar looks awesome, but you wouldn't be able to see it just because of the way it's facing. So
yeah, I saw on your Instagram that you kind of remove some walls, and then you can actually see more details inside.
I didn't realize it was going to have that much. Like when I first saw what you were doing with you had been working on the roof and the exterior, and I didn't realize it was all going to have the interior too. And oh man.
Oh yeah. It's been taking me a while because it was a lot of detail. It was.
Yeah. I mean, it looked great, obviously. Yeah.
Did they request for? I want this room and I want this to.
But they wanted a replica, exact replica.
Okay.
Yeah, wall to wall. I was like, all right,
Nice.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. I mean, we're talking a little bit about. Oh, the reason I asked that question is because I built a little set recently that in the couch build in the interior, just for no reason, there's like one of those printed 1x1 circle like with a 5 on it, just a nickel in the couch, and you can't see it from any angle. It's just in the build, in the instructions. Put this nickel in the couch.
Right.
And I loved it. I love knowing that that's there, and like, I can like take the couch out and take it apart to find it and show somebody. But that's exactly, I don't know.
A lot of the modulars have all these hidden jokes that the Lego designer put in them, and you can't see it from the outside. You can only see it if you open up the modular. Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we just keep them closed, but then people are gonna miss all the little hidden details inside. Yeah, like you'll watch like the videos that they'll have like the videos of the designers, and they'll be like showing off all these little hidden jokes that they put in the set, but then it gets missed.
Yeah. There's one. It's like, it's not a modular. It's a 3-in-1. It's like the pet shop, but it's like the big 3-in-1 set. And I was building that, and like the bases of the walls have these little arch pieces, and I was like, why are they putting these here? And then at the end, you build a tiny mouse.
Oh.
And it has like a trail basically through it, and there's a mouse and a little piece of cheese and like a mouse trap. And like I love seeing that stuff when I build things, and then like I love when people find that stuff when they're looking at it too.
Yeah,
for sure. So yeah, my question. Oh, I have another one too, but the other one is, so like when you're building a mock. So I think that I feel like there'd be different ways to go with this. In the interior, do you care as much about things that won't be seen, like either the structural aspects or the colors or anything like that? Like if it's not actually going to be seen, I'm curious, like, does that matter to you for when people are, for you specifically, or for when people are going to be looking at it or whatever?
It's hard to say for like micro stuff because you can't really go inside.
Sure.
However, for like, I've modified a lot of the modulars and just tiled up the inside, even though I know nobody's going to see any of the tiling that I've done, because a lot of the modular buildings, the second floor, the third floor might just have studded floors, and I don't like studs. I like to cover it all up, and so I'll tile it all up, different designs or whatever. But then I know that nobody so I did that when I changed up the Palace Cinema. I turned it from like a corner building into like I added two together. But then I added all these video games inside and like a popcorn stand and did all this, like the flooring. I put like seats. I tiled up the seating area. But then no one's gonna see it. But in my head I know it's there. I know it looks nice inside. Maybe if I lit it up, you can kind of see through the windows, but I haven't played around with lights yet. Iceberg.
I don't know. I'm on a fence on that one. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, man. Like it's like 50-50. I think if there's,
you're talking mocks,
huh?
You're talking your mocks or just like modding a modular?
Yeah, just talking to mocks.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do, and it just depends on if I can come up with the creativity or not.
Sure. Yeah. But like colors though, like what would you use? Like any color just for something no one's gonna see, or do you? For me, that like kind of bothers me. But I can also set it aside and be like, it's okay. I just needed to.
Yeah, I mean, I can see like if it's something that nobody's gonna see, yeah, I'll use some crazy wild colors just to, just for the structural integrity. So
Sure.
You'll never know.
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done that. Like I've even used Duplo. Like when I made that duck over there,
Mhm.
the back there's big Duplo bricks,
Sure.
and then the front side is yellow, but like the inside there's a lot of Duplo in there.
Sure. Just to give you like fill the space.
Yeah, just so you're
Yeah.
not wasting a lot of brick.
Yeah, Justin in the chat is saying about flooring, is like that choosing the tiles is an expensive choice.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what the pick-a-brick wall is for.
Yeah, you gotta get
Whenever I see tile on the pick-a-brick wall, I
grab
just
'em.
Load
Yeah.
up on it,
try
right?
to get it.
Yep. Same. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I've tried to buy them for specific things, and
Mhm.
I think it's cheaper than Bricklink. Like if you were to get a pick-a-brick cup of tile,
it's way cheaper. Yeah,
So-
certainly. I don't know. Here it is, but I don't know if there's more options because you're not shipping and all that stuff. But
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, flooring, I can go either way. I like on this is my first one, and I was like, I'm not gonna go get all tiles for this, and so I just put some corner detailing to suggest that it's hardwood floor, and then everything else is covered with these like specific minifigures. You can't really see.
You can't
that
see.
much.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I'll leave that corner just to say like I could have done it if I wanted to,
Mhm.
but making custom minifigures is also expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, exactly. So would you wait, did I answer the question? I didn't really answer the question. But
Forget what the question was.
well, it was about
the
if
inside,
I care as
the
much
inside.
about the inside.
Yeah.
I used to a lot, I think. Like even everything that's on the inside of this kind of building up this stage is all like red and gray.
Mhm.
And like I went out of my way to get some of it. Other stuff that I've done, I think I care less and less now if it's going to be on the exterior. I've gotten better at like just drafting it with any color whatsoever to figure out what pieces I need and whatever. So,
Mhm.
and then I kind of figure out, oh, okay, that piece isn't going to be seen, so it doesn't matter, So that's I've gotten better at that, and I think even building Lego sets where I've started, you see all the colors they use on the inside makes me feel. I hadn't really built a lot of bigger ones back then, and so I think it changed my mind too. Like, oh, okay, they're using it a lot sometimes for like reference points in the instructions and stuff.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have this like ridiculous like neon color on the inside. Sure, that's fine, right?
I know. Whenever sometimes that happens, it's a very rare color. They'll have it on the inside, then they just cover it up. And in
I
my
know.
head, I'm like, I should just use anything and just keep that
I know.
color because I can use it for a mock or something. But then I
yeah,
ended up just not doing it.
I think
ended up
about
keeping
that,
it.
and then what I'll do if I like needed that piece or something, I just like look up what sets it in, and if I have that set,
Open it up.
then I'll just be like, wait, okay, so I have one. So if I really need it and I'm not going to order one, maybe I can go in and get it if I need to, or that option's always there. Yeah. So I mean, I want to talk about like the reward of showing off your Lego and the relative importance of that versus like your experience of building it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's like a prompt on its own, I guess, but like another way to think about it would be like, would you still do this if no one ever got to see it? You know what I mean? I mean, questions of like making money from it and commissions and stuff aside, just like the hobby on its own, like, is that a necessary part or is it a complement to it? Or is it, what are your thoughts on kind of where that fits in, why you enjoy it and why you keep doing it and so on?
I think I would still be buying sets and building sets even if nobody saw it, just because of the fact that I was off YouTube for like 3-4 years and I was still buying sets, just because I am kind of a hoarder. So I like collecting things, and even before Lego I was collecting other things, and so it's just collecting. And then as for mocks, though, I don't think I would have been making mocks if there was no one to show it to. So I just kind of came back. I hadn't made a mock since last Philly Brick Fest, which was 2017. And I just made a couple mocks now because I wanted to show it on YouTube or Instagram. So I wanted to show off the mock. And Iceberg kind of commented on it, like challenged me to make that Apocalypseburg mock, and so without having to show that off, I wouldn't have made it. I would have just been collecting the sets and buying sets, not really doing the mocks. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. I wouldn't really be. I would still be buying the sets even if I didn't have to show them off. But in terms of building something on my own, I think for me, I need to kind of show it off to someone, not just building it on my own and then just looking at it. How about you guys?
I think like you're right. The sets would probably be just for like, for my self enjoyment, for the love of Lego. But like definitely, I look forward to getting feedback on my mocks. The good and the bad stuff. Like if something, there was any flaws in my designs, I would want somebody like Brickadjust to say, hey, look, instead of this approach, I want you, take this way, and that'll clean, that left corner up or something like that. That constructive criticism I look forward to, so I can be, a better builder down the line.
Yeah.
How about you, Kevin?
Yeah, me. I mean, again, it's hard to say until I know later. But most of what I do or have done, only a few people were even able to look at it, I guess. I had always said I didn't really care about showing it to people, but it is, you get a lot back from it, I think.
Like, it felt good for you to show us your mock right now, right? Like that feeling of,
and like,
it's a different feeling.
I finished this one like about a year ago. So like right after I wasn't allowed to go there anymore, and everyone knew I'd been working on it forever.
Have they even seen it?
I mean, they have. So like, once it opened again, I was able to take it in, and they like put it on the shelf, and they posted about it on Instagram and stuff. But I didn't even have Instagram then, and so like, I got to kind of see how many likes that post got on their page, which was at the time their most liked post, which it was like 1,000 or something like that, which felt, that obviously felt really, really good. And seeing people like get really excited about it and being able to pick out little details and stuff like that. Is that, this is like a little game that they play called Puckett, and you like flick these things back and forth. But like, there's also stuff that like, I love that there's stuff you can't see. Like I've got those little like white candle pieces, like hidden away behind glass, which is meant to be like a bin that would hold their forks and knives, like rolled up. And you can't see those, but I love knowing that they're there. You can't even easily show them if you wanted to. I mean, with a mock, I think if I was building it, depending on what the inspiration was, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, and like the roller coaster that I'm doing, I want to show that to people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I've already gotten the joy of watching myself having made the track work with a loop, and that's like, I can make it go around that loop all the time. But I'm gonna build this thing into it. I'm gonna theme the whole thing around this set here, which is that spider thing, and like I'm gonna spend time learning how to build like some sort of spider web something or other, when otherwise I would have no use for that. And so, and just really to show off the final product. So yeah, I guess the putting time into like my own creations, yeah, like for sure. I think I need that feedback.
On the reverse side, I think I like seeing people's sets, and it kind of gives me ideas of, do I want that set? And usually it ends up being, I want that set. I want that. I want that too. Whereas like, even before seeing that person's set, when I would see it like in the news or whatever, like the Lego news, I'm like, I'm not really interested in that. But then when you kind of see someone having that set, you're kind of blinders open, and you're like, oh, I want that too. It's like, I don't know if it's that FOMO that people start talking about now, like that new word, that fear of missing out. And then in terms of mocks, I like looking at people's mocks because it gives me ideas of what I can create as well. And so I think that's kind of like the other side. Like, what do you guys think about, how do you guys feel about looking at other people's sets and looking at other people's mocks? Iceberg.
Yeah, I try to, I really, envy people that who actually get the new sets first. Like, they get them before anybody else can get them before they're even in the store. 'Cause
Like
now
the
want them bad.
Lego ambassador.
Yeah. I wish I was a Lego ambassador. I'm the Lego master, but you'd think they would hook me up, but I guess it's in line. But I don't know. But I do. That makes you want to go out and go buy the set because they're having so much fun with this brand new set.
I know this Monkey Kid. All of a sudden, I wasn't into Monkey Kid, and when I saw Kevin building the Monkey Kid, now I want some Monkey Kid.
Right.
Oh, they're really fun sets.
Yeah, they are, and they compliment. I think them and Ninjago go hand in hand. So I really enjoy the Monkey Kid sets myself. So,
yeah, for me, if I got like Ninjago is obviously an old, like that would be a deep hole to try to pick up 13 seasons in, or oh my gosh.
Well, that's what happened to me with Star Wars, because when I first started, it was just modulars and architecture sets, and then I started watching the Brick Show, and they were reviewing Star Wars sets, and then because before when I would go into the Lego store, I wouldn't even notice the Star Wars section, and then when they started reviewing the Star Wars sets, and then I started wanting Star Wars sets, and then I started collecting that, and then I would see a review on something else. It's that slippery slope kind of we talked about. I kind of get one set of a theme, and then you want to somehow complete that set, and you want all the minifigures of that line. And Lego strategically puts one minifigure in one set and another minifigure in another set, so you have to buy all the sets to get all the minifigures, and so it's kind of that slippery slope.
I think actually I'm a little bit like, once I see someone else has this stuff, I actually don't want it as much. Now that I think about it, like Blacksmith, Medieval Blacksmith, like that's a great set, but everyone has it and like it looks great. But and then I'm like, well, I don't have a great use for it, and so I've seen everything, but like obviously I would enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but like I think that was part of the Monkey Kid stuff.
Iceberg, yes, like, you would.
Not as many people are getting the Monkey Kid stuff, and I'm like, oh, that means that I get to show off this awesome thing, Like I don't know all the things that are hidden, and I don't know anything about this set really. I saw one little photo review on Instagram that said it was good, but I had already ordered it, and I was like, okay, good.
You're the monkey. You'll be the Monkey Kid guy. Well,
I mean, there are others for sure. Like Tech does all the Monkey Kid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's it's a good line. So I'm glad that I'm in early too, where like if I'm decide, I do want all of them.
Is it the third wave? Is this the third wave? I heard it was a third.
I don't know what I don't know what the second one would have been. It's the second season, I think. I don't know what the wave would have been.
I heard the first wave was good, the second wave wasn't as good, and then this third wave is good.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know which ones would have been the second wave versus the first. Because
I have a question.
Out, right? Yeah.
Is Monkey Kid exclusively at the Lego store? Because I didn't see it at Toys R Us.
It's an exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So like you'll never get it on Toys R Us sales or Mastermind sales or anything.
Is there any other line like that? That's not in Toys R Us or Walmart. It's only at the Lego store? Like, I don't think there's any lines. I know there's sets that are exclusively at the Lego store, but not a line.
Yeah, I don't think there's any full lines.
That's interesting.
So. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that's not the case in other countries. So maybe Australia or something someone was saying.
Oh, okay.
Might have started getting them at one of their big stores or something. I'm not sure.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one more question. Oh, this is a weird question, but okay, let's say I don't know how to ask this question. Basically, I want to ask like, what are good questions that you get? Like, I know what bad questions are, like kind of the questions you hear over and over, but so maybe I can ask the question like, if I was about to go to a Lego show and, as an observer, and I was going to ask a bunch of people about their sets, like what
intelligent question
be that I ask that are going to bring out the best kind of, going to allow them to tell me the most or get.
Oh, I know.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It would be, is there a hidden feature to this set that you can't see from the outside that you've kind of put in in the set yourself, and
Yeah. I mean, I guess just straight up asking, what can I not see right now? Like that's the only, like only they can answer that question. And
Yeah.
either it's, interesting. Maybe it's just empty down there. And like, if you poke it, it'll fall apart, right?
rather than how many pieces and how long did it take you to build it?
Exactly. How long did it take you to build the parts I can't see? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do like that question. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that we were, I was talking about that, but if someone asked me that, I'd have a lot to tell them probably.
Yeah.
In part because I like to hide things, but do any questions? Does anything come to mind for you, Iceberg?
Wait, just on sets or mocks?
On mocks, like if you were like, if
Iceberg Bricks were to go to a LEGO convention, and he were to go up to a displayer and ask them an intelligent question, what would it be?
I'd be, I would ask them, how do you come up with an idea of what you want to build?
Yeah.
And that'll tell me the whole story of the mock at that point. What if it was I don't know, like an experience that you had that made you want to build a dystopia zoo or something like that, or like a fan favorite of Marvel, then you wanted to build something, to represent, your Marvel fandom or something like that. I would go that route because then that would force you to tell me about the build.
That's super interesting. Yeah.
I'll be like, Kevin, why did you build your?
Well, I was just thinking about how I'd answer that if you asked me about anything. And like right now, everything I do is like around like I want to have, a big layout of an amusement park. So everything.
Yeah. Why are you building an amusement park?
I think it's because I don't want to build a city,
mm-hmm.
and I love fun, and like. An amusement park, I think, gives you the license to do whatever you want. You can use whatever colors you want anytime. You can put any minifigure anywhere. You can, any set can fit in if you wanted to. You just have to build a little subsection around it. And I think it gives really nice space to mix, sets with full-on mocks with kind of like half and half, which I also really enjoy doing, because I'm not shy to mess with the set after I get it. I always build it exactly as is the first time, even everything like the angles have to be just as.
I noticed from the stream.
And then like I used to like this was bad, but I've gotten over this. I used to even have to make sure my Technic pins had the like lines the same way and stuff like that, but I've gotten over that. I'm just like, okay, that doesn't matter.
Someone asked me once in the comments section if I build with the Lego, the Lego printing, having them all face the same direction. And I'm like, whoa, that's intense.
I mean, once you realize it's impossible, then you can get away. Then it's like, okay, I can let that go, but yeah, no. And a lot of times I'm like, okay, have I ever noticed that I didn't do that on another set? And if the answer is no, then I will ignore it. But things like the pieces that have like holes on them or something, I will notice, like, that's visible, right? And
I always have them a certain way.
Exactly. And it doesn't bother me if someone else puts them the other way. It's like it's kind of personal preference to some extent, but like for me, there's one way always feels better than the other, right? But yeah, in terms of like why I do all the amusement park stuff, I think I want a big layout, and I didn't want to do a city because I don't want to start getting modulars because it's a big expensive hole to go down. Yeah. And again, like everybody has them, and I can see them if I want to, I think. And so, I get to use a lot of stuff in ways that I don't have to, and I can kind of like mix different scales. I'm not going to do that too much, but like, if something's going to be in an amusement park, it can be oversized as part of like the atmosphere, right? And it doesn't mess with anything. Cars and stuff like that, maybe I guess is a little, but I think it just gives me a lot of freedom to do whatever I want, basically, in terms of colors and different builds and things like that. That is a really good question, though.
Do you have a place to put your amusement park, like a layout area?
We're gonna get so that like what's behind the camera is like another, like this is out of the biggest bedroom in our house, and like we had switched it for an office at one point. Then we switched my office up here too because of things, you know, and we have a bed in here, but there's space to get tables that can go over it, and we don't have people stay with us that often. So the idea is to have the tables go over the bed, and be able to like build on each table, and then have it just be able to easily move the tables back to right here, basically when people need to be here, if necessary.
That's a good idea.
That's the plan for now. But until then, I'm kind of like, these are pretty big areas, and I actually like that I'm confined to that space for kind of, it really gives me structure to what would otherwise be just, I want more of this thing, right? Like this campground area is really filling in. It also gives me perspective of how much I do have for that one thing. Like half of the campground stuff is also down here, but you know, whatever. That's kind of like where people will stay at the amusement park. But that's a great, I'm going to keep that in my back pocket for sure. That's a good question coming from someone who like, yeah, interesting. I like that. Well, we've hit our hour though.
Yes.
I really enjoyed this conversation personally. That's like the type of thing I was really curious to hear from other people who've had the opportunity to show off their stuff, when I think like I am going to in the future for sure get even more and more enjoyment out of it. And like, yeah, when I like, especially when building a mock, you're like, okay, why else am I finishing this right now except to show it to somebody?
You get a good feeling. Like I'll show it to my wife and my kids. They're like, oh yeah, that's cool. But then when I show it to like you guys, you're like, oh. And so you got like a different feeling with when it's someone who's into Lego, kind of appreciates what you've made as opposed
to
like
you don't know this, but like I go back and look and just back and look again at the Ninjago micro build, you know, like you don't get to see when I might like it and comment once, but I go back and look at it, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah, so like that makes me feel good when I hear stuff like that, right? And so like that's what you're gonna get when you bring a mock to like a show, and it's just not the public that sees it; it's your peers that will see it on the non-public days and start making comments on it, and you appreciate it more with someone who makes mocks themselves, you know.
For sure.
Sure.
Cool. All right. Well, this was fun. Thanks.
So next week.
Yeah, next week. I don't know if you have a topic in mind, but I assume
I have a topic in my head.
Cool.
But I'll show it to you guys later on, once I kind of finalize it.
Okay. Cool.
But it's going to be
on Brick Adjuster's channel next week, on a Tuesday at 8 p.m. is the plan, and yeah.
Sounds good. All right.
Well, great. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us or for watching later.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
See you later.